This is the, it's going to be hard to see it, but this is the Brazil nut butter that we made the other day. And big fan of peanut butter. I think there's a lot of health benefits to nuts. And Brazil nuts, it links to one of the non-conformity company projects. This is Michael Todd, TODDY, day 301 of making daily videos. We're launching 100 startups in a year to show you loads of different business examples so you can come in and be like, oh yeah, I like that business or these businesses. I'll do that for this thing or copy that business model. So yeah, inspiration, tools, resources, community stuff as well for accountability and getting things done. Different pathways to upgrade your life. And obviously health is one of those 5 departments of life. Nutrition is a sub-department of that. So everything that goes in is fueling you. It's fueling you. It's fueling your body. It's fueling your mind. It's fueling your future. Because if you're not eating good, then you're not going to have the energy to get things done, are you? So Brazil nuts, yeah, it links to the Healthiest Recipe in the World.com project that we're doing, which, again, like, business doesn't have to be a business from the start. If you just do something, this is more like a collaborative community project, which could turn into all manner of things of a business later down the line. But it's really an interesting project, research project, to feed the nutrition part of the health category. So it seems like all these businesses kind of fit into one of the categories or subcategories, which is nice, of the Life Master brand. But anyway, yes, Brazil nuts are really high in selenium. And selenium is a mineral that we need. We need a certain amount of it for health. And a lot of, like, it's a bit hard. I don't know what to say with the health stuff because there's restrictions on what you're allowed to say and what you're not allowed to say. So somebody's in charge of the information, aren't they? Which is a bit of a predicament. But anyway, we obviously need a certain amount of vitamins and minerals per day. Recommended daily allowance of these. You know, that's common knowledge. You can find that online. And you know, a lack of certain vitamins or minerals can lead to disease in the body, certain ailments. Lack of vitamin C, for example, causes scurvy. That's why a lot of sailors had it, because they were lacking the vitamin C on the boats, which is why they then started taking limes, which I think where the term limey comes from, that limey, hey limey, which is what Americans call Brits, English people. So ages ago, this was like it was an idea. Like, a lot of these non-conformity things are like, some of them are like past little projects that I might have started and just they've just been parked. I've got a spreadsheet called ingredients. And the idea was, I was just like, well, multivitamins are okay, but like, we need to really get it from our food. We need to be really getting all of the stuff that we need from our food. So I thought, why don't we reverse engineer food and recipes based on all of the recommended daily allowances that we need. I can't remember the RDA for this. I'm going to switch up the videos and actually like switch to my laptop and show you some of these spreadsheets and stuff as we go on. In the eyes of trying to continually improve. But yeah, there's a lot on the computer to show you. In this spreadsheet, I've listed all the vitamins and all the minerals down the side. I think there's about 15 vitamins with the B1, B2, B3, B6. Yeah, and like K1 and 2, A, B, C, D. E. And there's about 15 minerals, so about 30 things. So then I've found the recommended daily allowance that we need for all of those in micrograms, I think. So then what I've started to do is I started to list like highly nutritious foods. That's down the side. And then along the top, I started to list highly nutritious foods. And I actually started with nuts because I knew that nuts are, yeah, they've got a lot of nutrition. And it's funny because each nut, like the Brazil nut, is high in selenium. Like, you'll find like the peanut is high in something, really high in, they're all high in really something. So the idea was to then find all of the top foods that ticked all of the boxes for all of the vitamins and minerals, and then take all of those foods and try and turn them into recipes, or a couple of different recipes, many recipes really, to try. And then the challenge is to try and get in as many, to hit all of the RDAs in a beautiful dish or food or something. And you know, a stew might be quite good for that because you can get a lot in and mix a lot in. Um, but I'm thinking like, yeah, I'm going to go back to the spreadsheet, and I think I got all the nut information. I think there might be a few more nuts to put in, but there's also seeds as well that are also, I started with, that are also very high in stuff. So what I was thinking is, I mean, this is really nice. I had this for breakfast this morning, and with a bit of vanilla sugar on, actually, just to like cut through, because it's quite, not cloyy, but like, yeah, it's not as probably enjoyable texture as the peanut butter. But what I'm thinking is basically making like a nut and seed butter mix of all of the nuts and seeds, and then seeing exactly how those vitamins and minerals would come in, and then that could serve to yeah, if you had like a nut butter and then a few other things, it could be hitting all of the things that we need, and it could taste really delicious as well. It's important to soak the nuts before you do it. Like, we soaked these for, I think, 10 hours or something like that. Because what that does, if you think about it, when you put a seed or a nut or something into the ground, when it receives water, it activates the nut and it goes into growth mode. And I think it also kind of takes down its protective barriers as well. It kind of activates so that it's more digestible. So you soak them, and then you roast them for a bit in the oven, and then you do the nut butter. Our blender broke. Everything broke last year. We had like a electric whisk, a soup mixer, and a blender, and they all like broke in the same day. It was really bizarre. But the blender wasn't very good anyway. I used to have, God, what they called the big ones. It would pulverize anything. You could put a diamond in there, it would turn it into dust. It was just crazy. I can't remember the name, but they were really good. But I borrowed my neighbour's blender, and it took a few goes, but it eventually did it. And yeah, selenium, apparently because of the way traditional farming is, I need to look up the ailments and what happens with a lack of selenium. But the soil, the soil that is in the farmlands, mostly around, with this up-to-date farming, over farming, not rotating the crops, using pesticides, herbicides, insecticides, etc. The quality of the soil has really gone down a lot. It's depleted because we're using these modern methods which do not, they value quantity, really. It's more about the yields than the quality, the nutritional quantity of the food. So something like, you know, the carrot might look like a carrot, but inside there, it's just not as, there's not as much nutrients as there was 10, 20 years ago. And apparently the selenium in the soil, the levels are just super, super low. So the selenium is really lacking and not getting through to our diets as much because of all of this. So this is a really good way to get that, to get that in. I was only going to make a short video. It's 8.5 minutes. Yeah, anyway, it's good. We had the solar eclipse today. I took a few images, but I don't really think it... I'll put a few now. Why not? We'll finish with the solar eclipse. See ya.